the inner child, and the subconscious mind. Hi, I'm Vicki Rebecca, and I'd like to share how to release embedded issues or traumas with ease and grace, and how to use the resulting energy to catapult to a higher level of consciousness, to living in love and joy. As a trainer and psychotherapist, I explain to clients in their first session that I was trained using a model of the mind. Let me show it to you. If you can imagine, your mind is just like a cup that fills up with stress just as you go through life. Ordinary things like being born, having your dummy tit taken away, being bullied at school, stood up on a date, stressed at work. These things build up until your cup becomes full and you get the onset of a symptom. The symptom can be anything at all, but it will always be something that affects your life, because the symptom is sent to you by your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is that part of you that knows everything about you, everything that's ever happened, even those parts that you don't want to know. But it also knows your full potential, how absolutely fantastic you can be. And by sending the symptom, it's trying to give you a nudge in that direction. But the subconscious mind is a quiet voice. It's not noisy like your ego voice, and it talks to you through language of the body, language of the universe, through dreams. Freud said that dreams were the royal road to the subconscious mind. You do hear these messages, but they're quite easy to ignore. And people tend to say things to themselves like, I'll deal with that when the kids have left school. I'll do it after the holidays. Maybe once I get the promotion. You know what I mean. So what happens is that subconscious mind of yours says, they're not listening. We'll have to make the symptom worse. And that generally is when people show up for therapy. Now, most of us therapists can help on this level. Up here, by helping to build the boundaries up, by helping you to cope. But we can also work down here at that level by inserting a tap. And when we do that work, we go back to the time when you were younger and you felt upset, sad, maybe shocked, misunderstood, unloved, and angry. And when we're little, we don't get taught, as a general rule anyway, how to process our feelings. We believe that our carer, the person who's looking after us, when they tell us things like, don't be silly, know best. And we learn to hide our feelings, not to trust our feelings, and in some extreme cases, not to feel. But when we don't process the feelings, they stay with us. And according to the law of attraction, what happens is we end up in the same situation over and over again. So when I do this work with clients, we go back, we acknowledge the feelings, and we release them one by one. And as we release the feeling, of course, the level of stress comes down. And it's very, very expensive in terms of energy to keep those feelings suppressed. So the client's left with the energy that they need to be getting on with their life. And indeed, that's usually what we all need. So when I ask my clients, where does all that stuff go? You know, the stuff that they've built up in their cups over the years. I get replies like, I bottle it up in the psyche, the mind, here, pointing to somewhere in their body, usually their head. And they're right. The body ends up as the receptacle for these old feelings. It becomes a receptacle because as adults we tend to analyse. We say stuff like, but that was just. That happens to all kids. My childhood was really okay. However, what we're ignoring is not actually a cup. It's our own inner child. Perhaps a child that was already overlooked and ignored. So these little things, maybe just words carelessly chosen, do matter. It was important to you. And by ignoring it now, you're simply adding to the negative data already stored by the child. You're adding to the data and ignoring what's probably the most important relationship you'll ever have, your relationship with your inner child, your true self, your relationship actually with the divine. All that data that's been stored up since forever can be simple stuff like, I am naughty, I must be unlovable, life is difficult, I'm not enough, it must be my fault. Stop. We know how the law of attraction works. That buried data becomes thoughts, repetitive thoughts, and repetitive thoughts become our beliefs. And beliefs manifest in our behaviours. Behaviours end up being experiences. And experiences, repeated, become your personal reality, your personality. A self-fulfilling prophecy created by suppressed emotions from the past. Ah, it must be true, we say to ourselves. This accumulated data is held by tension in the body and makes you, at the subconscious level, the inner child level, a prisoner to the past. Trapped and tense, your body relays those messages of fear to the cosmic creator. I'm naughty, I'm unlovable, life's difficult, I'm not enough, it's all my fault. I'm repeating bad stuff over and over again. Yes. And when this tension gets a hold in the physical body, the body becomes stuck in shock, and that in turn attracts more shocking circumstances or dis-ease into your life. It will eventually turn into a crisis. In other words, the universe will provide you with the life for a naughty, unlovable, not good enough, faulty person. Your wish is my command. Yeah, the data within you is dictating what you experience in life. It can show up in a multitude of ways, body, mind, soul, or all three. Ergo, symptoms, triggers, dysfunctional relationships, addictions. You know the story. So, how can you release embedded issues or traumas with ease and grace and use them to catapult to a higher level of consciousness? I've worked for years using deep psychotherapy to heal the wounded inner child, a method based on psychodynamics. And as Freud himself said, in the end, if the situation of repression can be successfully reproduced in his memory, his compliance will be brilliantly rewarded. The whole difference between his age then and now works in his favour, and the thing from which his childish ego fled in terror will often seem to his adult and strengthened ego no more than child's play. True now as it was then, yet we've learned so much more since then. The space-time continuum, the mind-body connection, the law of attraction, the interconnectedness of all things, in particular, the exponential power of healing the self. So pulling those things together with my own practice of mnemodynamic psychotherapy, as I was taught by its originator, Sue Washington, from Melanie Tonia Evans' work on recovery from narcissistic abuse, and from Dr. Hu Len, who you may have come across through the work of the Ho'oponopono. Dr. Hu Len believes, as I do, that we have 100% responsibility for the self. If you take responsibility, even just by saying, well, I attracted it into my life, then you have the power to do something about it. Anything else and you're simply one of life's victims. It's always open for us to heal ourselves. And if there's anything I've learned on the bumpy road to recovery, it's the importance of self-partnering. So I wrote this meditation especially for this purpose, for those of you that I know are hurting from painful emotional memories. The meditation comes with instructions on how to do this powerful work on your own, and it's yours for £9.99. There's a link below, and you know where I am if you need me. Thank you for listening.